in one of the most luxurious neighborhoods of Morocco's economic capital, where bright lights, towering trees, and surveillance cameras guard palatial villas, a crime took place that shattered the illusion of safety. A crime that redefined betrayal. Its victim? A well-known political figure, the parliamentarian Abdelatif Mordass. At first glance, it seemed like a random shooting. But what lay beneath was far more sinister. At precisely 9:15 p.m. on Tuesday, March 7, 2017, Abdelatif Mordass pulled up in his luxury car in front of his villa. Out of nowhere, a black car with no license plates approached him. 3 shots were fired, 1 to the head, 2 to the neck and chest. He collapsed instantly. The shooter vanished without a trace, and so the scene closed. But this was only the beginning of a much longer and darker story. The investigation moved fast. Mordass wasn't just a citizen. He was a politician with public influence and media presence. The first theories pointed to political conflict, or perhaps business disputes. One businessman was considered a prime suspect due to old real estate disagreements with the victim. But CCTV footage and alibi confirmations quickly cleared his name. As investigators dug deeper into Mordass's life, a thin thread emerged. It wasn't clear yet, but it was enough to change the course of the investigation. At first, his wife Wafa appeared devastated, her eyes downcast, barely speaking. And when she did, her words came with strained sorrow. But her grief seemed rehearsed, too calm, too composed. The day after the murder, amidst the family's supposed shock, Wafa went to the bank and withdrew a large sum from their joint account. That raised red flags. In early questioning, she claimed the money was for funeral costs and her children's future. But one investigator noted in his report, emotionless behavior, scripted answers, crocodile tears. The case was taking a disturbing turn. Among dozens of phone records reviewed by police, one name stood out. Hicham Mouchtari, a man in his 50s, a local official, well-connected, and noticed that he is a known hunting enthusiast. The last call Wafa made on the night of the murder was to him. Over 98 calls in a single week. That's no coincidence. Under pressure, Wafa confessed to a romantic affair with Hicham. What started as a family friend turned into a full-blown secret relationship. But what made it even darker? Their connection was brokered through a spiritual medium. Yes, a fortune teller. A woman skilled in divination and dream interpretation, who acted as their go-between, and even gave them spiritual advice to strengthen their bond. Now, the investigation had entered dangerously twisted territory. The car used in the assassination wasn't registered to Hicham, but to one of his relatives. Security cameras captured that exact vehicle lurking around Mordass's home the night of the murder. Ballistics matched the bullets to a rare hunting rifle. After an intense search, police found it, buried in a remote location, a match. It was the murder weapon. All clues pointed to Hicham. But did he act alone? Was this premeditated, or a jealous impulse? When confronted, Hicham denied everything. He admitted to loving Wafa and wanting to marry her, but insisted he never planned the murder. Wafa? She portrayed herself as a victim of obsession, claiming Hicham was jealous and unstable, that maybe he acted without her knowledge. But the calls, messages, and her behavior after the crime, all of it pointed the other way. In one damning testimony, the fortune teller confessed that Hicham had often complained about Wafa's inability to divorce, and expressed his desire to get rid of Mordass by any means. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was a calculated conspiracy. Inside the courtroom, Morocco held its breath. A politician murdered by his wife and her lover, with the help of a fortune teller? It felt more like a Netflix script than a police case file. Wafa denied orchestrating the plot, but prosecutors presented over 40 digital pieces of evidence linking her to the planning and execution. In one emotional session, Mordass's daughter cried before the judge, "My father died betrayed, and the betrayal came from inside our home." Even Hamza, the nephew of the main suspect, testified, "Yes, it was Hitcham. I rented the getaway car. He had a hunting bag. He shot Mordass and told me to drive." Hamza had fled to Turkey after the murder, but was captured and extradited. In response, Hitcham denied everything. "No evidence, no witnesses," he insisted. "Only God knows the truth." But his denial fell flat. The trail of evidence was too strong. The court delivered its verdict. Death sentence for Hitcham Mouchtari. Life in prison for Wafa Mordass. 30 years for Hamza, Hitcham's nephew. 20 years for the fortune teller.
يدخل حل الجراج لأن الباب الجراج لقينا احنا محلول. الناس كيقولوا شي كيقول لك ضربات الطوموبيل، شي كيقول لك كاينين جوج طوموبيلات. لحد الآن احنا باقي ما عرفناش كيفاش وقع. أنا السيد ضرب بالقرطاس. هو اللي يعرف.
ما كانش عنده شي أعداء ولا شي حاجة.
السياسة راه أعداءها كثير.
The final scene, a man's end, and a woman named Wafa. In the end, Mordass never knew that the greatest danger was sleeping beside him. The woman who shared his bed also shared in his death. As for Wafa, her Arabic name means loyalty, a cruel irony, because loyalty was the last thing she gave him. In this case, love bled into betrayal, desire turned to death, greed spilled into blood. And the people? They're still asking, how many other Wafas hide a bullet behind their smiles? If you found this story disturbing yet compelling, subscribe to Dark Corridor. There are more stories hiding in the shadows, and we're just getting started.